Last year saw the industry total assets, loans and deposits by SACCOs register an improvement compared to the previous year, with asset base jumping to 622 billion shillings in 2020 compared to $5.1 billion in 2019 amid the COVID-19 pandemic, according to figures by SACCO Society's regulatory authority. As a result, the Kenya Polic Sacco's David Mategwa is banking on last year's overall performance by players and proposed amendments and new regulations to meet the society's target this year.
Since the regulation came in place, meeting the ratios, the capital ratios and whatever, has made institution to be very strong. You know, at the time, SACCOs could pay dividend 12% because chairman is going for election. So I need to pay people and people clap for me and elect me because I paid them the highest dividend. Yet I'm suffocating the institution. But nowadays, with the regulations, you don't do that.
Kenyan SACCOs are on course with the implementation of an inter-SACCO lending market and eventual integration into the national payment and clearing system in a development. Through SASRA, the industry regulator is working with relevant multi-agency team and has drafted the legal framework for the operationalization of the Central Liquidity Fund, where SACCOs can lend and borrow money from each other, thereby cutting ties with commercial banks whose loans are considered very costly.
The money that we have, instead of putting this money lying in somewhere in a bank or putting in some investments, we can still help our colleagues who do not have liquidity to lend them, and we get interest on that. So it is a good business even to us. We are on the front line advocating for the Central Liquidity Fund to be in place.
Under the new regime, SACCOs will run their own inter-SACCO market where they can lend and borrow from each other at reasonable interest rates to offset their financial positions, which was not possible in the past.
For us, we are ready, even now if it starts. But now we leave it to the legal procedures to be followed for it to be in place.
The draft legal framework is currently under review by the Office of the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperatives and is expected to be submitted to Parliament by March as part of the budget policy statements for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Martin Opio, K24 Business.